It was handled secretly. The stool is being taken at night. Even the kids can notice. If you are buried in this home, it is a taboo. You will haunt these people. They go negotiate. Why can't you take my daughter? So they were.
Welcome to another episode of Afrokin, our kin, our truth, where we reclaim narratives around families using the African lens, looking at the African values that uplifted women and that brought in inclusivity of the whole community and marginalized groups. I'm Sharon Amendi, and on today's episode, we're going to be tackling taboos in the African setting. So we are looking at issues of infertility, of marriages, of sexuality, of inheritance, and how they highlight the role of women and marginalized groups and showcase the importance that these two groups played in the African setting. So with us today, I have a very, very important guest who holds a lot of knowledge about the African setting and the role of women, and will deep dive into these taboo topics. So help me welcome Mikai Elizabeth Menya, who is National Treasurer and of the Luo Council of Elders. Yes, welcome.
Thank you. I'm Elizabeth Menya, Luo Council of Elders, Treasurer under Care Odungiranda. I'm here to talk about women, traditional women.
So thank you so much for taking the time and being with us today as we look at, when we go deep dive into this topic of women and also the taboo, let me say, topics that we had in the traditional setting. So we'll just start off, right? Can you tell us, in the traditional African setting, how was family placed? How was the family looking like in traditional African setting, and exactly what was the role of women in that setting?
In traditional setting, the homestead was built in a way that everybody was included. The brothers, fathers, sisters, and aunties and uncles. It was a large homestead. It was a collective responsibility for parents. So that is why homestead was put at a one place.
So it wasn't in terms of nuclear, right now the way we have father, mother, children, and that's it.
Introduction for nuclear family, it is done with the colonial rule. They are the people who have introduced nuclear family, where a mother, father, and child are living together. But in olden days, we have something called Dala, homestead, where everybody was living, collective responsibility. So it is different.
And in that setting, if we're looking at in terms of hierarchies, for example, who has the power, who holds the power in terms of decision making, how was it like? Because a lot of what also that we believe in Africa, of African setting, is that it was majorly centralized towards only, the men. Yes. But how was it really?
Yes, in traditional days, the responsibility or the role was given to both men and women, especially Mikai. Yani the first wife in the home was taking the lead to be responsible for other co-wives. And the man is the overall of the home, the old man. Men can be many, but there is a grandfather. Yani it is home lineage. They live together. So there was somebody who was bigger than the other. So it was according to chronological birth. The elder one will lead the family. And the elder wife will lead the family. Mikai will take the responsibility of the family, looking of the granaries and what have you. So it was a role of elderly people. Yes.
Not just one specific gender.
No, not one specific person.
Mm-hmm.
That one is nuclear. Yes.
Okay. And when we're still looking at the family or the definition of families, we know that childlessness or barrenness and infertility as is right now, because now I'll talk about right time, because this is where we are now. Right now, it's there's a lot of stigma around it. If even a woman chooses not to have children for her or by herself or cannot have children, there's a lot of stigma that surrounds that. And was that the case in in the traditional African setting?
No, in the traditional African setting, the barrenness was not all that something which is big in a woman. Because the homestead, it was a collective asset for kids in the family. They ran all over the homestead. So that woman who is barren will not feel lonely. She will not be stigmatized because there are kids coming to her house, because it was one communal home where kids were for everybody. It is not entitled Nyangane was having these kids. The kids was for everybody, not biological mother. It was a responsibility for women in the home to bring up kids who are given in the homestead. So the barrenness was not seen. Stigmatization was not there. Right now, there's stigmatization because people live nuclear family, mother to father. If the woman is barren, that home people will ignore. There's nobody who will go there and play. The kids will not go there because there's no child in that home. So nuclear family has brought this stigmatization.
So there wasn't really a lot of pressure on women back then that your value comes from having a child.
No, there was no pressure. They were seeing secrecy of covering that woman who is barren. They were given a child. Maybe they dedicate a single child to that house. The woman will honor that child as hers. Everything happening to that child, she will give her heritage or land or what. That is her child. So the barrenness was not seen. Yes.
Yeah. And you're bringing in another very important aspect, because then the children who are considered of the home, had they or was it a must for them to be born in the home, or there were other systems in which the children would be brought by? So, for example, fostering, adoption, are these things that happened during in the African setting, or are these things that we are saying, or people are saying that we are now trying to bring currently?
No, fostering children, they are allowed. I can inherit a child from my aunt who has passed away. If I'm good-hearted, I will take care of the child. That one is fostering. Or neighboring. If there is a neighbor who is good to the family or friendly to the family, you can adopt. You can adopt if that child is an orphan. You can adopt. Nowadays is when people are just to herself, to myself, my kid. But long time ago, they were doing all these things. Fostering, they were doing. Adapting, they were doing. You can even adapt a neighbor's child. Not even blood related. Not even lineage adoption. You can go adopt outside the lineage. Yes.
And I like that, the aspect of it doesn't have, or family back then wasn't defined simply because of blood relations or biological, and that everyone belonged.
No, family was not defined by blood relations. It was designed how responsible you are. Because you are not just responsible to the biological kids. You are responsible to other kids also. So kitambo, traditional lineage, people just inherit, people just being together. You feel everybody's your sister, your brother, because you were playing together, eating together. Homestead was one. So people were feeling free and fair, not like now. Yes.
Okay. And speaking of inheritance, because you've mentioned it, back then were women allowed to inherit like land or property, or what position did women have in that, in terms of getting land and property, and also other people, the young and what you can call the marginalized, had what role or what part were they given in terms of inheritance?
In traditional days, women were just given land to dig and keep their kids, but they were not inheriting any land unless otherwise. Today it is happening because of the colonial rule. Women are entitled to land, but kitambo they were not entitled to land, they were just given. The Mikai was subdividing land for co-wives to dig and upkeep their kids, to bring food. And Mikai was the person in custody of the granary. They just dig and bring. And Mikai was the key figure to give them food. So today, inheritance is coming up because of colonial rule. A woman is entitled to land. When the husband is dead, a widow, can inherit land. Just because of colonial. But long time ago, the land is in custody of man. And lineage, how blood lineage, people inherit land. Sons inherit land from their fathers. From their forefathers, grandfathers, they inherit land. Land was entitled to men only. But right now, land is entitled to women. Even ladies, they go claim land in their home where they were born. Even me, I can go to Karachuonyo and claim for land. But it is due to colonial rule. Yes.
But given that you said that women were allowed to have land in terms of digging and in terms of, growing food
Crops,
and the likes, what exactly would happen, for example, what they made from, what they got from the land that they were given, in terms of whether they're selling the crops to get money and the likes, how are they allowed to, or how did they utilize that money?
Yes, they can go sell these crops in the market. But the traditional men, they gave their wives dignity, respect, and honesty. They were not asking for money. These women were just buying food to upkeep their kids. They were not, money was not taken from them.
So they were allowed
They were
to
free. They were free to sell their goods and use them. Not like now, men can ask you, where's the money you have come with from the market? I want. Those things were not there. Yes, that one was showing respect, dignity, honesty, integrity. Yes, of elders. Yes.
So they looked at women through very dignified lens.
Yes.
Let's dig into another topic that we often avoid currently, and it is in terms of sexuality. Back then, because right now what we get, and even from interactions with peers and the likes, is that sex was a taboo topic in the African setting. Is that the correct position? How was it? Because I would like to think at some point there had to have been some form of discussion at some point.
In traditional settings about sexuality, it was taught kulingana na mileage, age. When you reach a certain age, ladies go to grandmoms and they were taught about sex. But right now, this digital life has ruined everything. Our kids, they know about sex before even she's 8 years. Because they are seeing in the phones, they are seeing in TVs. So it is quite different from that time. Sex was taught, but according to age. When you reach a certain age is when you are taught about sex. But right now we cannot control. So we are just seeing a way of talking over these days, over sex. That is how it happened. Yes. It was discussed, but in a silent way, in a secret way. Yes.
And in that discussion, I'm surprised. Okay, at least the it being talked about and giving guidance. I'm guessing the older people would give guidance to the younger ones. And how were they guiding them in terms of sexuality? Because again, like I said, a lot of people don't think it was discussed back then, but you're saying that it was discussed. The women were talked to separately, the men were talked to separately, and so it being discussed at that level, how is it that the older people were guiding the younger ones to approach this whole topic of sexuality and the likes?
Long time ago, there's a house called Siwimvenyiri. Old Mama was in that house. That is where every lady who has grown up, who has got matiti, they spend in that house. They were taught in that house how to move about sex, how to relate with men. Before marriage, you cannot go spend with a man. So it was taught in that way. And men was taught in somewhere called dual. They sit with elderly men. They discuss. They are taught how to go about it. How not to marry your sister, not to what. That is why it was one homestead. You see somebody as your sister, your brother. So they were in that lineage they were teaching the kids how to carry about themselves.
And I'm very curious, were there ways in which traditionally were there ways in which, for example, if couples were not ready to have children, for them to delay pregnancies, or were there ways in which the Luo community did they have ways of preventing pregnancies before now the couples were ready to have children and the likes?
Yes. The so-called Mikai was having a chair. They are calling it African stool. That stool was put in Mikai's house. Mikai will give authority to the man to go to a house where a child is needed. If that lady is ready, the lady will tell the Mikai will come to and collect the stool to go and put it in her house. So the man will just know, today I'm going to Nyautieno's house. That is how they were controlling, birth control. The man is having a kakiru, a small house, a small hut where he's spending. He's not walking aimlessly. He is having his house. He just come to your house if you are ready. It's when he is coming to your house. And you go to Mikai. Mikai is the director. You will get the stool. You go with the stool in your house. So Mikai will say, today your chair is in Mamutino's house. So you just know. That one is a secret. It was handled secretly. The stool is being taken at night. Even the kids cannot see.
And if one wasn't if one wasn't ready, then how was that approached?
If one was
okay,
come again.
Let me just say, because you've said the scenario is that if someone is ready and all that,
yes.
If all these women had small children who are breastfeeding, and none of them is ready to to see or to have sex with the man of the house, how would that be?
The man will stay in his house. Heart, that heart is katikati ya boma. Analala tu hapo. Mpaka one kuwe ready. Natural birth control. Yes.
So at least they had that understanding of having birth control, so
that is why I said in traditional life there was respect, honesty, and dignity. You respect yourself. Huyo mama akona mtoto, si unanyonyesa. You respect yourself until you are ready. Is when that stool you will go and collect from Mikai's house, the first wife. You go and tell today, and then you take the stool. Yes, it was controlled naturally.
That's very, very interesting to know. Well, still looking at it from that angle of respect and dignity for the women, right now we know that, and a lot of course, Westernization came with the idea that there's women, we're looking at the power of women in terms of the formal titles that we hold as women, like you're now a national treasurer, you know, and the likes. But in the African setting, were there situations where women held power? Even though it wasn't, right now it's not as obvious, but back then, did they have what we call either soft power or just power that is not defined as power right now? And how were they influencing the decision making by at the homestead? Because then we see, or rather the narrative that is told to us right now is that back then women had zero decision making power and that had no titles, for example. Is that accurate?
Yes, long time ago women didn't have titles, but Mikai was given the mandate, the first wife. She was given the mandate. She can make decision. She have roles to look after the homestead, granaries. Those are responsibility. She was given power, and in silent way. Right now we are in Luo Council of Elders as women, but before it was not allowed. Women were not allowed to be in Council of Elders due to some rituals. There are some rituals which men, they just go alone to perform. A woman is not allowed to join the camp. Even at right now, we are in elders, but there are some degree where we cannot reach, where we are left as women. And we understand because it is our tradition. Right now, you know, this matter of colonial rule, at least as uplifted women kidogo. That is why we are here now. Gender equality. Yes.
And now take me through the journey, because you mentioned now, of course, you are in the Luo Council of Elders. How did that come about? How then did you as a woman get to be in the Luo Council of Elders? Because then the Council of Elders is the keeper of the Luo tradition, and as a woman you're sitting there, and so how exactly did that come about? What were the conversations at that time that were going on?
Me, as I talk, I started being in elder position in ward level. The community, they see if you are worth representing them as an elder. Is there ideas you are bringing back to the community? Is there ideas you are helping the community with? So you just don't join at joined elders, nothing doing. You must be elected by elders. It is just electing post, not even doing voting and what have you. You are just seen. How you carry up yourself in the community. Are you a woman of dignity? Do you respect yourself? Are you a role model to the community? Or you are just saying you are a woman and you are strong? In elders, there's nothing like strong. It is performance. Your character can buy you to move. Me, I started ward level. I went to constituency. I went to county level. That is why they bring me to national level. They are seeing your capability. Can you perform? Are you a Luo by tribe? Those are things they are seeing. Are you above 45 years to represent elders? So that is why I'm here. And also that case of gender. Yes. They were seeing women, if they uplift them in elders, they go back and teach other women in the ground. Yes.
And that last sentence is very important because from your explanation, it took the community,
Yes.
which obviously is the Luo community,
Yes.
to have belief in you as a
Yes,
woman to be
yes.
able to lead,
Yes.
and for them to see that you're bringing something of value again
Yes.
as a woman,
Yes.
which the narrative or what we see nowadays, or what people try to say is that as women we don't always make can't make decisions, can't be in these positions, but you're saying right in the council of elders that
Yes.
that is what, and that is coming from the community,
Yes.
looking at you not just as a
woman.
yes, and but seeing that you
can
are
perform.
up to the task.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That is very encouraging.
Yes.
And when was that, if I may ask?
It was in 2013. Yes.
Okay.
I started with the ground level and I've reached now national level. Yes. Not just chosen, come you, apana. I go through the chronological order.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have elections for council, for treasurer?
Election we don't have. They just chose. Yes.
So going back to the African setting, going back to what happened at that time, right now, of course, marriages have always been valued, whether currently or whether in the African setting. But was there a way for women to belong to families other than marriage?
Like if now inheritance, somebody's wife, husband is dead, you are inherited through the family lineage. And you are supposed to look for your in-law. You don't look outside the box. You just look inside the box, the family lineage, the blood lineage to get inherited. You are married to that family now. You cannot go at my husband is dead. No, I'm going away. You are inherited in that family.
And for those who are not previously married,
those who are not previously married.
If a woman has never been married, does she still belong to the family?
You talk of a lady in the family. That one is a taboo. Girls are recommended to be married. If you are not married, the family see you as a caste in the community. There's something wrong. So olden days, they were looking at it as if there's something wrong with you if you cannot be married. But they were looking for an old mzee. If your brother, your father, is related to another man who is married, they go negotiate. Why can't you take my daughter? So they were given to old men through negotiation. It is a process, family to family negotiation.
But if we go back to because then you've said that those who are not married were were given off,
Outcast.
were being outcasts. That's a strong word. Yes. But generally, like you said that women were treated with dignity and respect. Then if at all there wasn't a situation where they were being given away to older men, how was that treated? Like, because that is their home.
Yeah. It was a taboo to home anyway, long time ago. But right now, ladies, if you are learned, you buy your land, you go stay in your land. Now, but before it was bad. Right now, women can buy land and go and build their homes. They built even without men. They go beyond our traditional act. So you are allowed if you can buy land. That is how they handle it today. But before, your dad negotiate with another family to take you. It was a sad story, but what can you do? And a long time ago, girls were not going to school. Kama wamesoma ni kidogo tu. So it was a hell. Right now, women can negotiate their way out from the home. Because if you are a lady, you can, if you die, if you are buried in this home, it is a taboo. You will haunt these people. So you are not allowed to be married, to stay in the homestead if you are a lady. If you have reached your age of marriage. Yes.
Okay. And now, if you could say something in the African setting or something about the African families that we misunderstand right now as young people or as people who might not be very familiar with our African culture, with the Luo culture. If you could say something that is misunderstood right now that wasn't the case in the olden days, what would that be? Concerning families.
Like we have talked about sex. People today, they think long time ago, old days, people were not talking about sex. But they were talking about sex in a certain age. And it was a secret thing. It is just age limit that will qualify you to go to a woman, in old woman's house to sikia hizo maneno ya sex. So right now, people think a long time ago, people were not talking about sex, but they were talking about sex. It is different from today. Today, sex is talked about with even young kids, even a class 5 can talk about sex. Just because of this education, enlightenment, which has come due to colonial rule.
And as we wind up, what would be your advice to us, young people or modern people, or however you want to put it, regarding valuing families in the African way? What would be your advice about the way in which or how we consider who is family and who is not? What would that be, like your parting shot or impacting, knowledge to us?
Now that there are institutions like elders, council of elders, schools, religion, I think these people should take their mandate to teach these things around or form an institution where people learn about these things. Me, that is the way I'm seeing it, because how can we handle it? We can handle it through council of elders, through religion, through institution, through education. Because I cannot say we go and start building homestead, dala, where people live together, collective responsibility. Those are gone. We have nuclear families, extended families. Now it is not together. That is why I'm saying, let us go through council of elders. We as council of elders, if we are given mandate and given a way where we can teach young people, then we'll do it. It is just because we are elders, but we don't have where we are seated, where we can teach the community that this is the way you should go.
And what
That
would
is
you
why
teach
I'm
them?
saying it is good if people can form institutions where people can be learning these things.
And what would you teach them as a council of elder? What would you teach them about families, whether nuclear families or extended families? What would be that one thing that you'd want them to remember?
I'll teach them the responsibilities of women, what they can do in a family, how they can carry their mandate daily to daily life. That is what I will teach them. So it is upon somebody who will take in or not take in. You know, you cannot force ideas in somebody's mind. If she is negatively seeing you, now will you force your ideas? You will just teach. Those will pick, and will perform, and will see their siblings going forward. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. So we've heard from Elizabeth Menya, who is the National Treasurer, Law Council of Elders, and she's imparted a lot of knowledge on us on African families, to view African families more than just the nuclear, and to also learn that taboo topics were discussed in the African setting. So that is the end of our episode today, and Afrokin is sponsored by KMET, which is a local organization that works with underserved communities within the Lake Region Economic Bloc and other counties in the country, a total of 44 counties in Kenya. Until next time, bye.